Okay, so today we're talking about triangles and more specifically angles in triangles. So we've got some facts before we get started. For those who did not remember, a triangle is a polygon which has three sides. All triangles have the following properties. Firstly, sum of all angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. Then we know that the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the interior opposite angles. And we've seen this before. Basically, that means if I have three angles here, if we call them A, B, and C, then if we extend one of the sides of the triangle, then the external angle, so this angle right here, is going to be equal to angles A plus B. So the opposite interior angles of the triangle. Then what else do we know? The longest side is opposite the largest angle. So what does that mean? It means that if angle A is the largest angle, it's going to be opposite the largest side, side BC. If side AC were the largest side, then the opposite angle, angle B, would be the largest angle. So there's this kind of correspondence between an angle and the side. So the size of an angle and the size of the opposite side. And lastly, the triangle is the only rigid polygon. Now, this might seem a bit silly or irrelevant, but basically what this means is that it's the only polygon where, for example, imagine you have a square. If you have a square, so let me just draw a square. This you can, if you move one of the points somewhere to the left, the sort of shape you get is something like this. So you would get a trapezium. Or if you were to move 2 points, then you could get, for example, a parallelogram. So basically what they're trying to say is this: if you have a triangle and you move one of the points somewhere else, then basically what you get is another triangle. So you'll never get another polygon. So that's what it means. It is a rigid polygon. It's the only rigid polygon, meaning if you move any of the vertices somewhere else, you pull it a bit to the side, up or down or anywhere, you'll still get a triangle. It doesn't change. So it's the only rigid polygon, meaning it stays the same. In any case, that's not super relevant. What is super relevant is this. You have a triangle, you've got a missing angle, like the problem we've got right here, this example. How do you find the angle? Well, very simple. You just say, if I add these three angles up, I should get 180. So let's see how we're going to do this. If you do 38 plus 19, let's add three of them. What is that equal to? Well, that's 57 degrees. If all of them should add up to 180, then we know that if we do 180 minus 57, well, that's going to give us the missing angle. So what would that be? That would be 123 degrees. So we know that x is actually equal to 123 degrees here. So that's super simple. Let's move on to another example. So let's say you've got this problem right here. Notice we've got a little square given down here. This little square means that that angle is actually equal to 90 degrees. Now notice this angle they've asked us to find now is outside a triangle. So this is exterior. So what we do know is that any exterior angle in a triangle is equal to the sum of the opposite interior angles. So the sum of this angle plus this angle. So what do we know? We know that if you add 90 plus 39, that is equal to the angle we're looking for. So this is actually equal to 129 degrees, which means y is equal to 129 degrees, and that's pretty much it. Now, another way to find this or prove this, if you like, would be to add these two angles up, take away from 180, and that would give you this angle here inside, the missing angle inside the triangle. But then you know that these two angles here, y in the interior angle of the triangle, they add up to 180. So if you did 180 minus this angle in here, you would still find 129 degrees. This is a very long method. That's why we like to memorize this idea that the exterior angle in a triangle is equal to the sum of the two opposite interior angles of a triangle. Now let's move on to another example. So let's see if I just scroll down a bit, moving on to this problem. Now this is slightly more algebraic, and that's why most students tend to dislike this problem. I find it easier personally, but in any case, let's see how it works. We know that this angle here plus this angle here plus the third angle here, if we add them all up, we should get 180 degrees. So let's just simply go ahead and write that down. So we've got 2x plus x plus 20 plus x, and all of this is equal to 180 degrees. We add them all up. Now notice we've got 2x plus x plus x. So keep in mind this x means 1x and this x means 1x. So what is 2x plus 1x plus 1x? Well, that is 4 lots of x. And then we just have to copy that plus 20, which was on the left, and that whole thing is going to be equal to 180. Okay, let's move on now. All we have to do is take away 20 here from both sides, because this is an equation. We're trying to find x. So what we want to do is get rid of that 20 first. So that leaves us with just 4x on the left, and on the right we get 160, because 180 minus 20 is 160. Final step here, divide both sides by 4 to get rid of that 4 in front of the 4x, because 4x means 4 times x. Let's not forget that, the invisible times there. So we need to divide by 4. So 4x divided by 4 is, well, simply 1x, or just x. And then on the right, well, we know 16 over 4 is 4, so 160 divided by 4 must be 40. So that is 40. But what did they really ask for here? They said find the values of the unknowns, giving brief reasons for your answers. Okay, so here I believe they just wanted us to find x, but just to clarify, let's see, did they actually find x and the other ones? No, just x. Okay, but if they did, if they asked you to find all of the angles in the triangle, then you would have to go back and just substitute this value of x into x here, into 2x here, and into x plus 20 here. So basically what you would get is 40, you would get 80, and you would get 60 degrees. That's only if they asked. When they say give reasons, what do they mean? Well, they mean, for example, in the first one we used everything added up is equal to 180. That is the way we would say it is angles in a triangle. Let me just write down the whole thing. Add up to 180 degrees. Add up to 180 degrees. So in an exam, you will be expected to give reasons like this. It's just very brief, just writing a short statement indicating you know what you're talking about. Now moving on to this example here, it looks very nice shape. What are they saying? They're saying find A, find B, find C. Okay, so let's take it step by step. Well, firstly, notice how this angle here, 140, and the angle A form a straight line. So how do we find A? Well, we say that A is going to be equal to 180 minus 140. Which means A is equal to 40 degrees. Now, what did we use here? We used the fact that angles on a straight line, so angles on a straight line, because they said give reason, so we need to give a reason, add up to 180 degrees. So add up to 180 degrees. That is our reason. So we found A, brilliant, nicely done to us. And let's move on to the next bit, which is finding the angle B. We're going to do a very similar thing. Notice how B and 120 degrees, they should add up to 180 degrees because they form a straight line. So what we do is we say B is equal to 180 minus 120, which is the angle right next to it. So B is equal to 60 degrees. Once again, what did we use here? We used the fact that angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. Now notice how annoying this can get. You might have to give the same reason over and over and over again. But we still have to do it because we get the marks this way, guys. Okay, so make sure you do this. And then finally for C, let's go ahead and talk about C here. So C, I think now it's very easy to see that if A is 40, so A is 40, and we know B, we just found B as well, B is 60. Well, we know that all the angles should add up to 180 degrees. So what we can do here is this. We can say 40 plus 60, well, that's equal to 100. So if we do 180, all of the angles in the triangle add up to 180. So if we do 180, let me just rewrite that. So 40 plus 60 is 100. So if we do 180 minus 100, well, that means that we get 80. Therefore, C is 80 degrees. So what is the justification here? The justification here is simply angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Now, once again, I appreciate this can be annoying, but we have to do this, okay, to get full marks. We're going to stop recording and give you some time to answer questions or ask questions you might have, and help you out with the work.